Williamson County political observers are closely watching the race for sheriff. Today, the Austin American-Statesman released a lengthy profile of embattled Sheriff Robert Chody and how his campaign for a second term comes amid shifting demographics in the county. Senior reporter Tony Plohetski is live at the Williamson County Courthouse. Tony, Sheriff Chody is under indictment for alleged evidence tampering. He has a loyal following among some residents, also a Democratic opponent.
And Terry, when you look back at Sheriff Chody's first race in 2016, he won handily with 58% of the vote. He ran on a tough on crime, law and order platform. But what has happened since then, according to political observers and numbers that we have looked at ourselves, is that some of those deeply conservative voting blocs over the past 4 years have been diluted as more and more people move to Williamson County. As you mentioned, Sheriff Chody does have a Democrat opponent, Mike Gleason. He is retired, a retired captain from the Williamson County Sheriff's Office. He has said, though, that this is more about having the right person as Williamson County Sheriff and less about partisan politics. He has said that when people call the law enforcement for help, that it is less that they are looking for a Democrat or Republican, and instead someone who can respond to their crisis and emergencies.
Tony, I know money is an important thing when it comes to campaigns. Some people may not realize that Sheriff Chody is a multi-million-dollar Texas lottery winner. So is that influencing this race this time around?
Sheriff Chody did win the Texas lottery, $52 million back in 2001. And when you look at his campaign finance reports, what you do find is that he is putting a lot of his own money into his race. In the last campaign finance reporting period, he spent about $300,000, which experts say is really unheard of for a local county-wide race. If you compare that to his opponent, Mike Gleason, he has spent only about $16,000. But Terry, one thing that is noteworthy, again, from reviewing those campaign finance reports, is that Mike Gleason appears to be leading with regard to people giving campaign contributions, donating to his campaign. He's gotten about 4 times what Sheriff Chody has gotten, again, in this campaign reporting period.
And Tony, I know a lot of people have this question. Does this recent indictment for the sheriff play into this race? I think a lot of folks are talking about it.
And Terry, the impacts of that really does depend on who you ask. Sheriff Chody has said from day one, we were out here that day, that the indictment is politically motivated as part of a, he says, political conspiracy to get him out of office. But there are other voters that we have talked to who say, not so fast. We are not sure we want an indicted sheriff as our leading law enforcement officer in the county. So obviously we're going to have to wait to see how things all play out over the next couple of weeks.
Sometimes everything. Tony, we appreciate the update on this race. So important there in Williamson County.